Greetings guys, the posting guy here, and this is the full/long review of the ICS Adaptive Drum Mag. And now if you're here from the short video, thank you so much for watching that. In this video, I will be going into full details on the features, pros and cons, with some neutral thoughts at the end on my opinion on this absolutely wonderful, fun, one-of-a-kind drum magazine. I know this video might be a bit lengthy and a little bit repetitive from the short video. However, I am trying to do these high quality reviews to make sure that you have a informed purchase decision as well as be fully aware of this product, because you most likely can't get your hand on it before buying. Talking about the specs, the length of this is about 25 centimeters with a height of 11 centimeters. And then as we get a top-down view of this, you can see that the width of it is about 7.5 centimeters total. The weight of this ICS drum mag at a baseline is about 1.8 pounds, and when you fill this thing completely with 0.2 BBs, that's an additional 1.1 pounds, bringing the total to 2.9 pounds. If you fill it with 0.25 BBs, that makes the total about 3 pounds. That is definitely something to consider because that's a lot of weight added to your gun. This does at a baseline come in black or tan, but also it is very spray paintable. This is a bit of a gag showing the pink color, and I mean that though because this is not like shiny flat plastic. It has a nice texture to it, which gives it its kind of rugged look, but it's very it would make paint adhere to it very well. And so if you had a specific color that you like toning your guns out to be, this would be very easy to change into that look if you wanted to go down that route. On to the features of this. Biggest feature starting off is the Interchangeable Magwell, or they call it like an adaptive magwell in the title. And what that means is that you're able to swap out this M4 magwell for a MP5, AK, or SIG magwell type. You remove these two screws, this simply slides off, slide in your new one, put the two screws back on, and it will work with that gun with no issues. Next feature, and kind of obvious one, is that this thing can hold about 2,500 rounds of BBs, which is a lot of BBs considering I don't even go through a bag of these when I go play airsoft for a day, and this holds 4,000 rounds, so you can pretty much imagine how much that would be. A great feature relating to that is the fact that there's actually 3 fill ports for this instead of just only one, which really helps maximize the full use of the shape of the C-type drum mag. There are 3 fill ports, one on each side of the magazine, as well as one on the top similar to a high cap mag. The way you fill up these fill ports is rather interesting. What you're going to do is you actually rotate this circle right here, and it tells you the direction with a little arrow, and you take this line, rotate it all around to the matching line. On the other side is a similar story, same thing, and you actually push this down to lock it into place. Right now this doesn't move to make sure no BBs spill out. For demonstration purposes, you just move this. I use 2 hands because that's what I found best. Of course, as you get closer, it gets stiffer because the spring is being retained. So once you hit that line right there, that's when you want to push down on the mag chamber, and that is now opened up for you to be able to fill up BBs. And then once you're done, all you have to kind of do is apply some counter pressure, pull on there, and then typically this would just move a little bit because your mag is full of BB, but in this case it's just going to slam shut. Next great feature about this is that this is an electric drum mag, meaning there's no manual work that goes into winding this up. All you have to simply do is press this button on the edge here, and those are BBs that will start filling up into the chamber ready to fire. The ICS drum mag is electric, where the battery compartment is located on the bottom here. You just open that up with a screw, and it takes a 9-volt block battery. I would recommend getting rechargeable 9-volt batteries. I included some in the link in the description below. More on that later. Another wonderful feature also relating to the button pressing right here is that it has a continuous wind. What that means, if you press and hold, it clicks in, and this is constantly winding. So if you are laying down heavy cover fire for a squad, if they're getting ready to run over, you can depress this and just have it constantly go. However, you do not have this winding the entire time, especially if you're not firing, because you will break the motor because it's trying to fill in BBs, but then the gears are going to start slipping and skipping because it's at maximum capacity. So only use this feature if you are continuously firing for a long period of time. There is supposed to be a remote pressure switch that comes with the magazine. I, however, lost mine, and it's a wonderful feature because that really helps eliminate the need to get your hand off the gun to then press this button on the edge here. So make sure you don't lose that. If you did, I have some links in the description for some replacements that should work. I myself will be ordering one of those pretty soon. Let's move into the unique pros of this drum mag. Starting with the obvious, this holds a lot of BBs. However, what I like about it is that it holds a lot of BBs at an even distribution of weight. I have seen other drum mags where the entire motor will be in one location and the battery will be on one side, and then the rest of the BBs are all on the other side, which really gives it a imbalance of weight. ICS has done a wonderful job to give multiple fill ports and utilizing the design so that it is an even weight across the board and your gun isn't going to feel absolutely lopsided. The other fantastic pro and kind of obvious one too is the Interchangeable Magwell. For about $10, you're able to get the 3 other types of magazines, which is amazing because now you don't have to buy a whole nother drum magazine specifically for that gun. This is very multi-purpose, which I'm a huge fan of, especially in airsoft, and I really look forward to be able to take advantage of that feature. Relating to the Magwell, another wonderful pro is that this is considered a slim Magwell, meaning it fits into a ton of different Magwells of different companies and types. I have personally tested this with G&G, KWA, Masada, and Amoeba, and it fits into all of them, which is saying something because some of the Magwells that other companies have for their guns are very tight. They don't like the fat ones, and so this fits into all of those guns and Magwells, which is amazing because you're not going to have to like shove this into anything. On to the next series of pros relating to the button specifically. One of them being that the button is actually recessed into the magwell where it's not exposed out into the elements or it can like get hit or chipped or anything like that. It's embedded into the magwell, which is really, really nice. Also, kind of a minor pro with that, I think it's reasonably big with a large access point to it. You're able to just stick your glove and thumb right on top of there and easily access that button. Relating to that as well as the continuous wind is an amazing feature where you're really able to lay down cover fire, or if you have a high rate of fire gun, this is really going to be able to keep up with it. And then a pro I haven't personally got to experience really is the remote activation. It's definitely a huge pro, being able to wind on your foregrip so that you don't ever have to take your hand off the gun. I get away with it. I'm still able to use this effectively on the field without that, which is some reassuring, but it's definitely nice to have. Last pro, although really important one, is this is made of seriously sturdy material and great construction. You can tell from my little scrapes and dirt all over this thing. I have used this outdoor field, indoor fields, and this has yet to break. It's been smacked on things, hasn't dropped it yet, and I'm not going to test that, but it is of sturdy construction. This is not some like fake plastic. Like, I am really, really pleased and impressed with how well constructed this whole thing is. Next, in this video, we're going to move on to the cons of this. And there are a couple of them and some that might change your mind about this product specifically. One of the biggest cons is that it requires a block 9-volt battery. If this dies in the middle of the field, you're not going to be able to find a buddy who just happens to be carrying a 9-volt block to be able to recharge this and keep it going. So that's definitely something to be aware of. I'd actually would recommend that you get rechargeable 9-volt batteries so that you save money in the long run. I have some links in the description below, and if you have a rechargeable one, you can carry one with you on the field for a long event like a Milsim event to make sure this doesn't die on you. Relating to the battery con is actually the con of a no failsafe. If your battery dies or something happens to the motor, there is no manual way of winding this up. So you pretty much have a dead product if something drastic were to happen with the motor or the electronics in here. And so that is definitely something to be aware of. So like if this were to break, you're kind of in trouble. You might be able to fix it on your own. I personally have not looked into that quite yet. I'd almost wish they added a manual winder, kind of similar to what a high cap have on the bottom here, so that in case something like that does happen, something drastic, you'd be able to use this still. However, I've used this for a long time. It has yet to break on me, and so I'm not too concerned about that right now. On to some minute cons, but definitely something to be aware of, is that this is a noisy motor. You're not going to be stealthy in any way, really, with that noise going on, just for you to realize. The last con for this ICS drum mag is the fact that the button is on the left-hand side. This is something to be considered for lefty shooters because you really have to kind of let go and either let go of the trigger finger to reach over and press the button, or kind of jank your way down to recharge it, or even go above your sights to recharge it. Of course, if you didn't lose your remote switch, that's not really going to be an issue for you at all. You might be wondering, wouldn't that be the same issue for a right-hand shooter? I'd argue not, simply because as a right-hand shooter, you can keep your eye on the target and have your finger on the trigger and simply move up, recharge, and push right back up. So it's a lot simpler compared to a lefty. Moving on, I'm going to talk about some neutral thoughts I have on the ICS Adaptive Drum Mag. They're not really pros or cons, they're just something to consider before buying so that you can make an informed purchase. First neutral thought is that this mag gets heavy. Obviously. I mean, you just gotta be aware of that whenever you're going to play the game with an extra 3 pounds roughly. Relating to that though too, it's the fact that it might have some wear on your magwell, because a lot of that weight is specifically on your magwell release, and so that's something to be aware of. Again, I have personally never experienced an issue with this being in the way of the magwell. Just a neutral thought. Another neutral thought is that this magazine is bulky. Duh. You're buying it for the looks, really. It's a wonderful look and some practicality with it. But what I mean by the bulkiness is that it can get into the way of some accessories or attachments in the front of your gun. This is pretty exaggerated on this Amoeba right here, where the foregrip, I'm not able to kind of be sleek with it. I have to really work my way around the magwell to be able to access it. However, that being said, it hasn't stopped me from playing. I have actually played games with this magwell on this gun, and it's a lot of fun. Another neutral thought about the design consideration for this is the fact that these retention springs do seem to help with some noise reduction. I think it has to do more with forcing BBs down into the reloading chamber. But it actually does make this a bit less noisy whenever the BBs are compressed together instead of being totally loose. My next neutral thought is that this product as a baseline comes with the M4 magwell. You can't buy this with an AK attachment or an MP5 attachment. You have to buy those separately. So it's kind of a bummer, but maybe you don't care. But also, who doesn't have an M4 gun? But that is definitely something to consider when considering the cost of this product, as well as the attachment that you may need. My last neutral thought is that this can keep up with high rate of fire guns. I personally tested this again with a bunch of stock guns as well as my Wolverine, and this is able to keep up with it. However, I cannot personally claim or support that this would be able to handle like a 100 round per second craziness. So that is just something to be considered if you're one of those high rate of fire kind of a person. Overall, I love this drum mag. Personally, it was the look and kind of like the feel that make me love it, but I have found it to be extremely reliable, really well made, and a lot of fun to use. One of my favorite features I'm looking forward to is buying an AK AG and then being able to slap an AK drum mag into it. I also really got to enjoy playing this with CQB and even just using a stubby. This is just intimidating, and it's just a really unique look. It adds a totally different style of gameplay. It allows you to kind of run a lighter loadout. It's just something, it's a great product that allows you to use it on multiple AGs, multiple guns, very practical, but also give you a very unique look and a new way of playing. I would absolutely highly recommend the ICS Adaptive Drum Mag to anyone who's looking for unique gameplay or wants to be a LMG for the team or teammates. If you're interested about this, I have links in the description below to evic.com, linking this product directly, as well as the different magazine types, magwell types if you're interested. If you're also interested in what gun I'm holding, this is the Amoeba CCR. I am going to be doing a review on this soon, so subscribe for that coming up. If you appreciated my in-depth review, quality review, please do leave a like. And if you want to support this channel, continuing to grow, please do consider subscribing. So that way I can continue doing this endeavor and continue bringing great quality review to products that you can't get your hands on, but you want to know a lot about. Thank you so much for your time and have a great day.